Hello, I'm Nathan Brown, and I will be presenting a proposal for Echoes in Print, an initiative to preserve oral histories within the Texas Digital Newspaper Program, funded by the Mellon Foundation's Public Knowledge Program. For an overview, I'll discuss our project's justification, institutional readiness, our capable team, the clear goals we've set, and our plan for sustained impact. This grant proposal is for the Mellon Public Knowledge Program, which supports projects that preserve and provide access to materials that have been excluded from dominant narratives of history, culture, and scholarship. This also aligns with the existing goals of the Texas Digital Newspaper Program, or TDNP. The preservation of local newspapers is increasingly urgent due to the chemical instability of newsprint. As Schachter and Millward explained, physical newspaper archives have suffered from declining institutional support, and much of the preservation knowledge once held by dedicated news librarians has been lost. While digitization has helped extend access, it does not address the lack of representation in the historical record. Even well-preserved newspaper archives reflect the social prejudices and stereotypes of their time, excluding or distorting the experiences of marginalized communities. Traditional archives tend to emphasize dominant narratives, overlooking the daily lives and contributions of historically underrepresented groups. Echoes in Print seeks to address this gap by integrating oral histories that contextualize and humanize the newspaper record. As Fenn, Stevens, and Shepard argued, participatory archiving allows communities to assert control over how their stories are told and preserved, thereby fostering more inclusive historical memory. The Texas Digital Newspaper Program, or TDNP, operated by the University of North Texas Libraries, is the largest single-state open-access digital newspaper preservation initiative in the United States. As of 2025, TDNP has digitized over 8 million newspaper pages and provides access to more than 1 million items from 1,949 titles, spanning 286 countries in 12 languages and covering 22 decades, according to the University of North Texas Libraries. TDNP is not only a digitization program, but also a technical partner to Texas communities, offering consultation on project scope, budget planning, and external funding opportunities. Through the portal to Texas History, TDNP enables free public access to these materials, which are used by university researchers, K-12 educators, genealogists, and community historians. The program's success has been demonstrated through projects such as the digitization of the Denton Record Chronicle, a partnership that preserved deteriorating microfilm and expanded global access to the daily newspaper of record for the Denton area. The University of North Texas Libraries, through TDNP, are uniquely positioned to lead this project because of their demonstrated expertise in both technical infrastructure and community-centered preservation. As a member of the National Digital Newspaper Program, TDNP adheres to rigorous digitization standards set by the Library of Congress, including consistent cropping, resolution, and optical character recognition accuracy. UNT's established partnerships with community institutions across Texas reflect a long-standing commitment to equitable access and historical memory. The project team brings together technical expertise, archival experience, and community-oriented values. Dr. Anna Kramer, Director of the Digital Newspaper Unit at UNT Libraries, will serve as principal investigator, overseeing the project's development, partnerships, and sustainability planning. Her leadership in prior TDNP initiatives, including collaborative grant-funded projects such as the Denton Record Chronicle digitization, demonstrates a strong track record of successful project execution. The team also includes a metadata librarian who will ensure consistent descriptive practices and interoperability with existing archival infrastructure, and a digital preservation specialist responsible for long-term maintenance and format sustainability. A contracted web developer will build the oral history portal, aligning it with accessibility and user experience standards. A rotating team of graduate and undergraduate student workers will assist with interview transcription, file preparation, and public outreach. A community advisory board composed of regional, cultural representatives and local historians will help direct interview themes and ensure the inclusion of diverse perspectives. The first year of the project will focus on foundational planning, community engagement, and technical development. A community advisory board will be recruited with representatives from libraries, cultural heritage organizations, educators, and local historians across Texas. This board will help guide the project's ethical direction, thematic focus, and community partnerships. The team will also host a series of oral history training workshops, providing instruction in interview ethics, recording equipment use, transcription procedures, and metadata tagging. During this year, the project team will record several pilot oral histories to refine workflows and interface requirements. Simultaneously, the web developer will create a beta version of the Echoes in Print portal. This initial build will integrate with TDNP's existing digital infrastructure and follow accessibility best practices. Feedback from the Community Advisory Board and pilot participants will inform revisions before the full public launch. The second year will expand and operationalize the project by building on the systems and relationships developed in year one. 2 public listening events will be hosted in collaboration with partner institutions. These events will not only showcase selected oral histories, but will also invite attendees to reflect on the broader historical themes raised in the narratives. Additionally, the team will curate 2 digital exhibits that link oral histories to related newspaper content within the portal to Texas history. These exhibits will contextualize the lived experiences captured in interviews with historical media representations, highlighting both alignments and gaps. Year 2 will conclude with a full project review and documentation of sustainability procedures. Echoes in Print aims to shift TDNP from a solely digitization-based program to a participatory preservation model. By the end of the grant period, the team will have developed a public-facing oral history portal integrated with the portal to Texas history. The portal will feature intuitive submission pathways, built-in metadata fields, and audio transcript pairing for public exploration. The project will preserve at least 30 oral histories contributed by members of underrepresented communities across Texas. These histories will be accessible, citable, and maintained within UNT's archival systems. The digital exhibits will serve as interpretive models for how personal narrative and institutional media can be linked to support inclusive historical memory. Sustainability is a central pillar of the Echoes in Print initiative. From its inception, the project is designed to be integrated into the existing infrastructure of the Texas Digital Newspaper Program. The Oral History Portal will not operate as a standalone website, but rather an extension of the portal to Texas history, ensuring long-term access, discoverability, and preservation. In addition to technical integration, the project's workflows, including interview intake, metadata assignment, transcription standards, and user permissions, will be documented and institutionalized. This means student workers and new team members can be trained with consistency, and community partners can rely on stable, transparent processes. The total proposed budget for the project is $77,279 over 2 years. The largest portion is dedicated to personnel, including salaries and fringe benefits for the principal investigator, student assistants, and consulting developers. This ensures the project is staffed with the necessary technical and archival expertise. A portion of the budget is allocated to travel and training, allowing the team to host in-person workshops and attend relevant professional conferences. Equipment and supplies support transcription, interview recording, and computing needs. Promotional and marketing costs will fund the design and production of outreach materials, event signage, and web presence. The impact of Echoes in Print will be measured through both quantitative and qualitative indicators. Quantitative metrics include the number of oral histories collected, the number of community contributors engaged, and platform analytics such as user visits, downloads, and exhibit views. Qualitatively, the team will gather feedback through surveys at public listening events and interviews with participants and advisors. These reflections will help assess whether the project's interpretive goals are resonating with the community members. Additionally, the project's educational use, including classroom engagement and scholarly citation, will be monitored through citation tracking and educator outreach. The long-term success of the project will be measured by sustained community engagement, the continued submission of new oral histories, and the adoption of the participatory model by other institutions. Echoes in Print is more than a temporary project. It is an evolving, open platform for inclusive historical memory. Here are my APA references for textual documentation. Thank you for your consideration. I welcome your questions and further discussion on how we can collaborate to enrich the historical narrative of Texas through the Echoes in Print program.